Welcome. Today we are going to talk about the subconscious mind. I would consider myself an expert. That is essentially all that I work with in my office or through Zoom. I do sessions worldwide, but it is the subconscious mind. So even when somebody comes into my office and they start talking and telling me about their things and they want to tell me every little thing, I really don't need to know all the things, because your subconscious mind works completely differently than your conscious mind. So let me tell you about it. Within your subconscious mind is everything that you've ever experienced. Present life, in the womb, previous to that. Everything you could ever hope to know, everything you could ever need to know, it's all in there. Let's say that you had a closet that had a toy box in it when you were a child. If you were to put yourself into a subconscious state, you could take yourself back there, you could put yourself back in that closet, and you could remember all of the toys that are there. Your subconscious mind holds every single memory that you've ever had. Forever and ever. Always and always. Eternity. It's in there. So when we use the subconscious mind in a session, what I believe it is that we're truly doing is we are getting rid of, well, obviously, the conscious mind, but what we are doing is now accessing you at a soul level. This is you at the level of you that knows everything about everything, that is connected to all and every single thing that there is. So this is you at a soul level. What we do with this subconscious mind is change things that have been programmed in there that have not been beneficial to you. So just imagine this. You are born, your mother loved you, so the womb was a good experience. She didn't leave you to cry it out in your crib, so you never felt like you needed her, which if you did that with your own children, I know, right? I did that with mine too. Now I would never do that because I've had clients regress back to being left in a crib, but I'm assuming that this was not a cry it out thing, but that this was probably a regular occurrence for them, crying, I have this need, not having your needs met. What happens when something like that happens? Let me tell you. So I've had many people who have, and typically it has been this presenting issue, the belief that they're unlovable, that they're just not worthy of love, that they're not good enough. And I'll have them bring this feeling up in a session when they're in the subconscious state, and I'll have them follow it back. Now, there's been many times that it has come up that they were left in their crib to cry, they were unattended to. There has been also many times that someone has gone back to being inside of the womb. Their mother is pregnant, they're in her body, and that feeling began there, depending on what was going on with the mother. You walk into a room and you pick up some kind of weird energy, right? We're very perceptive beings. We can pick up on those energies as long as we're, aware. So just think of what would go on and what would occur when you are literally in another person's actual energy. If there was fear that was there, maybe the mother was afraid, maybe the mother and the father were not getting along, maybe he wasn't present, maybe she was stressed out. There's all kinds of things that could come up in a pregnant mother. Now here's the ordeal about this, is that the baby can and does pick up on that trauma sometimes. So how could you ever resolve that feeling of feeling like you're unlovable when you don't know where it's coming from? You feel this way and you can't change it because you've never known another way to feel. How could you change it? I truly believe that unless you are praying to the divine for alleviation of that issue, which of course, if you put your belief in that, that will happen. You will be alleviated from any issue that you put your full 100% with no doubt faith into the divine. Of course, it'll be relieved for you. But what I do in my office with my clients is I have them go back to these places that their mind wants to take them. I'm not taking them back to these places. They are taking themselves back. I'm the guide. I did a YouTube collab the other day with a woman, and she described my sessions as if I'm taking you into a dream, but I'm going into that dream with you. And I would say that that is quite accurate even from my perspective of it. Because when I'm taking someone into the subconscious state, I'm also taking myself into a subconscious state, right? They are going to a soul level, so I am too. Why? Because then all awareness about everything is going to come up, and I'm going to know exactly what this person needs because I'm in their energy. It's as if I'm in the womb, right? I'm right there with them. I'm picking up on their energy. I'm even seeing what they're seeing very oftentimes. I'll say, oh, this person came up. Well, I feel like they're about to walk up to you and give you something, and that's exactly what's going on at the time. I'm so connected to this person. So we call this thing our subconscious mind, but it really is just our energy. You know, and we determine, many people say, oh, well, your mind comes from your brain. Well, maybe that's the place that lights up. That might be the place that lights up, that we can measure all that energy and that we can see that stuff there in the body, but it is not coming from your brain. Your mind is there first. It is the energy within your energy system and all of the consciousness that is there, all of that knowledge that is wrapped up there all in your aura, and it just gets illuminated in your brain. Now, I just did a video yesterday, and if you need help, you know, maybe some people don't even know what it is that they want. You know, I don't even know what I want. Or some people, maybe they don't know what their heart's saying and their head's saying something different, and there's all this kind of confusion. So the video that I put out yesterday, I take you into this subconscious state, and we get into heart and mind. And through getting into these two states separately, which I have you ask your heart some questions and I have you ask your mind some questions, you will notice, if you did that exercise, if you did that video, how extremely different it feels to get an answer from your heart versus an answer from your mind. It's like it's two different people. This is very similar to your subconscious mind, that it is like you're two different people. Now let me explain this to you. When people come to me, typically it's because they want to make some kind of change. You know, people will come to me for all kinds of things. Recently, it's been more physical healing than emotional healing, which is a really nice and welcome change. I love working with that. But your conscious mind and your subconscious mind are so two totally different things, and they tend to not actually get along with each other or agree. Here's my example. You say to yourself, I am not going to eat that whole box of cookies. Now let's just say that you really like eating cookies and you want to eat that whole box of cookies. Okay, so you're telling yourself, I'm not going to do that. So your conscious mind is saying, I'm not going to do this thing that I want to do. Right? I'm not going to eat all these cookies, but I do want to do that. I want to eat them all, but I'm not going to. Okay, so you need some willpower for that. Now your subconscious mind says, yeah, but we love the cookies. Why are we not going to eat the cookies? You're alive right now. You were alive yesterday and you ate all the cookies. We're going to keep doing the same thing you've always been doing. And so your two minds don't agree. And so what happens? Well, at some point you give in and you eat all the cookies, right? You've seen this play out in your life. You know that this is true. Maybe that was a bad example. Maybe it's something different for you. But you know what I'm saying. That you've tried to talk yourself out of something. I'm not going to do this thing that I actually want to do. And then you end up doing the thing. So the subconscious mind, it doesn't care about what your conscious mind wants. It doesn't care. It doesn't care at all. No, it doesn't. As long as you are alive, it believes it's doing a really good job. You know what else your subconscious mind's going to do? It's going to remind you of all the terrible things that have happened in your life, all the past failures and all the heartbreak and all the bad things that have happened. It's going to remind you of that continually because it believes it's trying to protect you from that happening again. But what it is actually doing is torturing you with past traumas over and over and over again, depleting your self-worth, making you feel freaking horrible, and keeping those negative things at the forefront of your mind. I mean, if this is how you've programmed yourself, if this is what you're experiencing, and if it's not, then you've done some subconscious work. You've healed some trauma, or you didn't have any to heal, and you're mint, you're bunny right now. It's just great. So what happens is, because the conscious mind says, I don't want to eat all the cookies, and the subconscious mind says, of course we're going to eat the cookies. We love the cookies. The subconscious mind wins. Because it determines essentially every single thing that goes on in your life. You believe that you are making decisions for yourself, but indeed you really aren't, because your subconscious mind is in control of those decisions that you make. So what happens when we get these two minds working together? Through a session, you come and we're like, oh, this is what the conscious mind wants, this is what the subconscious mind wants. Okay, we're going to have the subconscious mind agree with the conscious mind. That's all that we're doing. And how we're doing that is we're going back, we're seeing why it's not agreeing in the first place, right? Because your conscious mind wants good things for you, right? You want good things. You want good things for yourself. This is what you want. But your subconscious mind, it doesn't know the difference between the good things and the bad things. It just doesn't know. It's just going to remind you of what was. It's just going to tell you these things. So we go into that subconscious state. We go back and we see, we heal why. We heal the why. And maybe I do this because I've seen really good results with my clients, but maybe I do this with my clients because I need to know a why. If somebody just tells me to let something go, good luck. Good luck with that, right? I would love to, right? Wouldn't we all just be able to just let that thing go? Yeah, exactly. But if we can see the why behind it, if we can see the lesson behind it and the learning behind it, then we have an immediate perspective change. This is like if ever you've read a quote and it really hit you and it changed the way you were thinking. It changed something within you just instantly in that second. This is what hypnosis does. So when I'm doing hypnotherapy with my clients, this is what we're doing, is we're creating a perspective change. Now, I'm not just coming up and being like, I'll just view it this way now, do that now. No. What I'm doing is kind of like my friend described, who we did that YouTube collab with, beautiful woman, that it is like a dream within a dream. It is different for every single. It's a dream, and I'm taking you in there, and I'm going in there with you, and we're resolving and we're healing all kinds of things. It's so hard to describe what's actually occurring in a session because you can't describe it. Even if you've experienced it, people who come out, they're like, I know, you can't really describe it. It's really hard to describe. So we take this presenting issue of, I don't want to eat all these cookies, and we take that feeling that's there, and we follow it back and we heal why this feeling. Why are you eating the whole box of cookies? That's what we figure out. Why are you eating it in the first place? By following these emotions that are attached to that incident back. And we do this all in a subconscious state. You'll physically feel all the places in your body that you're holding that belief and that thought and that feeling and that emotion. You'll feel it. You'll be like, oh, it's in my right finger and my left toe, and it's interesting to see where people carry these things in their bodies, different for every single person. And so then we follow these things back, and then we heal and resolve them. Because let's say that you felt unloved in the womb. Well, was it truly you that was unloved? No, it was the situation. Maybe, who knows what mom was going through. Maybe she didn't have the time or the resources or the partner or the this or the, who knows what she had going on. But it's kind of stepping back and not taking really anything personally, and also seeing the lesson and the learning that comes from it. Now, this is hard to consciously talk about and explain to you, because when we're in a subconscious state, it's totally different. I'm having you visualize this and that, feel this and that, going here and there, and people are sometimes like, I didn't know where you were going with this, but it's like a story is being woven. Your mind might go here into this place, and I'm going to hear you say something, and I'm going to notice something that you said, which lets me know, okay, we need to follow that now, and we need to go back to this other place. And now we might go to another place, and we haven't even resolved that first place yet. But once we go back to the other place and we resolve that, and then we come back to that original place that your mind took you to, all of a sudden, that one feels different too. That has been now changed too. It is like we're really weaving a story. So you might come in and you say, I got anxiety, I'm depressed, whatever, you got something going on. Okay, perfect. Well, we're going to follow these reasons why it is there back. And often, most of the time, it's not one. There could be several, there could be many, there could be so many things that are attached to it, right? If you believe that you're not good enough, maybe that's coming from somewhere. If you believe you're not valuable, maybe that's coming from somewhere. If you believe you're not worthy, maybe that's coming from somewhere. If you believe you're not smart enough, that's coming from somewhere. All of these little things, and they all add up into this package of, man, I suck. Well, we're going to deal with every single one of those things, and every single one of them we're going to deal with in your subconscious mind. Now, most people come to me 1 to 3 times. That's it. Who else do you know? Do you know of any other profession that you could have some type of emotional issue or physical trauma or this or that going on, that you could go somewhere just a couple of times and resolve a lifetime worth of pain and trauma? I don't know of anywhere else. And I know that sitting in there talking to somebody across from their office for a year or 2 years or 5 years isn't going to resolve nothing for you. I mean, maybe it's going to help you out in some slight ways, but it's not going to resolve any of your subconscious trauma. Any of the emotional trauma that has been caused in the past, you cannot resolve it any other way than through subconscious healing. And I have had so many clients tell me, like, oh wow, I thought this was resolved already. Like, I can't believe this came up, that this was the presenting issue for whatever it happened to be. They could have any kind of presenting issue. It does not matter what it is. And it could be tied back to any kind of strange, how are these two things related? Who knows? But we figure it out. You know, and sometimes people want these sessions recorded, because sometimes when you're finished, we did so much work, we did such deep and intense work, that you'll remember some of it, but some of it you certainly won't. And I mean, you don't need to know it, because your problem, you now have a solution. So it doesn't matter what occurred, but sometimes people are just interested in getting those recordings to be like, oh wow, yeah, that was super interesting, especially if they come for past life, because this is, usually purely out of curiosity, even though there's many healing benefits that can come from it. Now, if you don't believe in that past life, it really doesn't matter, because this could just be past trauma that's passed down through your DNA. Like, there's no way to know, there's no way to prove any of these things. Do I believe that? No, because I've seen it come up so many times, and it's so fascinating, and it's so interesting, especially when it's in children. Back to the subconscious mind. Now, you can access this mind easily. And you go in and out of this subconscious state several times throughout a day. So if you're zoned out watching TV, you're in it. If you're tuned in, watching it, listening, reading a good book, you're in it. Now, if you're driving down the highway and all of a sudden you're like, oh man, you arrive at your destination, but you don't even remember driving. You don't even remember passing this place or that place or all the things. This is called highway hypnosis. You have slipped into the theta state, which is the subconscious state, which is the same state that you would be in my office. Depending on the level of work that we're doing, I might have you in a really light state. I might have you in a really deep state. It just depends what is necessary and what is needed. But everything that you ever could possibly hope to know about yourself is all in your subconscious mind. And so with this subconscious, let me tell you here, the reason why it holds those negative things, those past experiences, so close to you and reminds you of them all the time, of those really bad things, is because it truly believes that it is protecting you. I know it's not. It's not at all. But it believes that. It's saying, oh, this person insulted your clothes one time, so you better be really careful about what you wear. You better not go around that place. You better not go around that person. You better not wear any more clothes that look like that. And it will remind you of this every single day until you're dead, until you heal it. And until you realize, man, that person's the one with the problem. They were the one wearing the crappy clothes. What's their problem? What, they got a problem? Want to make fun of me? Whatever it is. As soon as you switch your perspective on it and you get over that at a subconscious level, then that thing that bothered you is not going to bother you anymore. It's not going to come up anymore, because you don't need to be protected from it, because you've told it how to behave now. Oftentimes when I regress people back, and I would say this is probably 90% of the time, childhood issues will come up. Childhood, maybe teenage, maybe young teens, but very often childhood will come up. And someone will have a presenting issue. Let's say that they, maybe they have a fear of I don't know. Maybe they just don't feel good enough. Okay. So I'm going to follow that feeling back. And we're going to discover what's there. Now, sometimes it'll be like, oh, mom and dad are having a fight. Oh, I'm in my room by myself. Oh, mom's mad at me for this. Ooh, dad just did this to me. There's a reason. There will always be a reason. But very often, when I take somebody back to this, they won't remember that, or they won't think that it was a significant time. Like if we were just consciously talking, they're like, oh, that would have never in a million years come up. But in a subconscious session, what actually needs to come up will come up. It is not very often that people will regress to past lives unless they are children, which in that case it is then very often. This is very rare in adults, but every once in a while that will also occur, and it will then still resolve. It will give them the solution to their presenting issue. Now, the changes that occur, because they are then changed at a subconscious level, are so rapid. Scientifically, it has been proven to be the fastest way to change the neural pathways of your brain, because you are combining a state of deep focus and deep rest. This is Andrew Huberman's pretty much his exact words. They saw it through neuroimaging. So they had somebody laying there doing hypnosis, and they can see the changes occurring in their brain that fast. Statistically, 93% of people have a successful outcome after 6 sessions. I guess it depends on who you're working with, because I think it's much more rapid than that, as long as you're going and doing intense healing and you're not doing just suggestibility hypnosis, which would be taking someone into a subconscious state and then just telling them how they behave now and speaking to their subconscious mind. This can work if it's repetitive and over time, and if the person is open and receptive to it. But the way that I do it is not like this at all. We are going in, we're resolving the why, not just rewriting different programming over top of it. We're actually doing real healing, hence the Real Healing Institute, my company. So this subconscious mind, not only does it hold all the memories and all the everything within it, but it holds all the emotions. It remembers everything that's ever occurred, and it will hold on to that for literally an eternity. And so if you need to change something about the way that you feel, or maybe perhaps there's a certain way that you feel about something and you're like, I don't know why, this could help you. So you could take yourself into a subconscious state and you could start asking yourself some questions. Or, of course, you could come to me and I can help you out. We can work privately together and do some sessions together and resolve a whole pile of stuff that you've been through. Now, I have to say, I've heard it so many times that I believe it to be absolutely the truth, that there is absolutely, it's scientifically proven too, but I just hear this from my clients, just how rapid the changes occur. There is nothing else that you could pay somebody and say, hey, I want to feel this way, and pay them, and then come out feeling that way. There's nothing else that I know of that can do that for you. Maybe drugs. Maybe drugs could do that for you. Of course, that's temporary. And I guess it depends on the drugs that you're doing. There's a fascinating drug out there that we'll talk about next time, perhaps. It's called the God molecule. It's very interesting. Back on the subconscious mind. I guess what I really want to tell you is that you can program your mind, because you did in the first place. It got programmed in the first place through living your life. And so you can change it. So if you want to change something, or you want to start doing something that you haven't been doing, you can use self-hypnosis. Self-hypnosis is a very effective tool that is really simple to use. You're in the theta state, the subconscious state, for 2 minutes before you fall asleep and for 1 minute upon waking up. And so it is in this state, it's a couple minutes before you're laying in bed, that you can tell yourself something. You can tell yourself 10 times. And as you tell yourself that, whatever it is, you're going to imagine it, you're going to picture it, and you're going to try and hold on to the emotion that is attached to it. Here's my example. Say this to yourself 10 times. You would say, every day my motivation increases and I feel energized. Every day my motivation increases and I feel energized. Every day my motivation increases and I feel energized. Now you'd say this to yourself 10 times, keeping track by pressing a finger down into the mattress each time that you say it. Every day I am motivated and energized. And every day my motivation increases and I'm energized. Now as you focus on this and you say this to yourself over and over, what you would then imagine is yourself being super motivated and really energized, and that's it. That's all you're doing. Telling yourself that 10 times before you fall asleep. Now when you wake up the next day, you are going to notice that you have much more energy and much more motivation. These things happen so very rapidly, so this is a really good, quick way to program your mind, is through doing actual self-hypnosis. So test that one out and see how that goes for you, and let me know in the comments down below how it worked out for you. But this is my talk here on the subconscious mind. I hope you learned something valuable here today, and I love you all so very much, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care.